And we're back. Come on in, everybody. I'm Jay with Guilty of Crime, and we're doing a special episode today. Come on in, guys. Good to see you. Hit that like button. If you're new, make sure that you subscribe and get all the notifications, right? If you're already here, like, subscribe, and share. This episode is dedicated to a family that has been missing their, not only is this person missing, but they're missing him. Morty Wortman vanished after an alleged knife threat. And who the man he was with, I'm going to get to. You guys are going to be blown away that this guy is in New Jersey walking around free with the evidence that we have here today. All right. So come on in, hit that like button. Let's get in here. I'm going to say hello to everybody before we get started because this is an episode for Mortimer. Mortimer Wortman. They call him Morty. I'm going to refer to him as Morty. They also call him Mekhai or Kai. All right. This is a 22-year-old student at Rutgers University that went missing on November 21st, 2025. And as of right now, 2026, the family is out there daily looking for Morty, particularly his mother. And I'm going to get into all that, but let's say hi and then we'll get going. There's a family out there or three that will be watching and are intertwined with this case. I don't do April Fools. I don't do April Fools. I do not like jokes on me, and I don't do jokes, but April Fools, everybody. We want to bring Morty home. And this case was suggested to me by one of you. I was researching the Nancy Guthrie case today, and I said, I really need to put out an episode that's going to be something that is meaningful and helps humanity, right? So I'm looking. I'm still putting my episode together for today when I get an email. I get an email and it says, Jay, I'm from New Jersey. And then they tell me about this case. Yeah, I don't do April Fools. I don't do jokes on people. I don't like jokes done on me. I'm very serious. If we're in a playful mood, cool. But don't pull a prank on me because it might take me a while to get over being upset with you. On that note, happy April Fool's Day. You guys do your jokes. Jokes away. All right, guys, Nancy Guthrie is very important, and so is the coverage. However, when you have a case like Morty, this beautiful young man with his beautiful family that has gone missing, and the main person of interest is right in your face, walking and breathing the same air that you breathe. Why is that? We've got thousands of channels covering Nancy Guthrie with Dateline NBC and Today, but this young man can't get coverage. He's been missing for over 3 months now, and the family wants answers. So today we're going to talk about what happened. Well, first, who Morty is and who Adam is. That's the person that was last seen with him, who each of them are, and why he's walking free after, trying to pick up on him. He wanted to, this is a beautiful guy. What can we say? What can people say? You've got the looks. Hey, don't get mad. All jokes aside, Mortimer Wortman now has a reward out for $10,000, which Nancy Guthrie's reward is what? 1.2 million, and there's still no answers. However, what I got to tell you is that he needs the coverage. So I'm going to tell you about Morty. I'm going to tell you about Adam, the last person that was seen with him. I'm going to share the Facebook and Instagram groups. We're going to do the coverage, and we're going to get this case out there. All right. We need coverage for the beautiful people that aren't celebrities and stars and have millions of dollars. All right. Everybody deserves coverage. And this guy, once I started reading this case, it was suggested by one of the crime crew. I picked it up. I just picked this case up today. I had never seen this case until today, and thank you to Tiff that helped me get it together. Gopher. Yes, Drew J. There's so many cases and not just one case. Right. Yeah, so I was looking and it literally popped out to me. Now, I was going to cover Nancy Guthrie today, but this email came and I said, we need to bring Morty home. His family needs him home. I don't want to tell the grim thoughts about statistics and when someone's missing for a long time, but you guys know the drill. All right, hello everybody. Come on in, Kathy. How you doing, my friend? And Brighton, good to see you. Good to see that Foxy's in the house tonight. And Janet, how you doing? Mama Sage, Deb, always a pleasure. Mama Sage again. Mo, how you doing? Same thing. It's a Leo thing, right? Yeah, Mo, I can't help. It's a Leo thing. Sorry, you just dust it off and keep on going. Except for this situation where you dust it off, keep on going, and they get upset. And that's what I believe happened in today's case. This person, in my opinion, that has pled guilty to threatening Morty before disappearing is walking free. And we're going to blast him all over today. All right, Lady for Justice, good to see you. Ms. Corinne, how you doing? All right, guys, welcome in everybody. We're about 7 minutes in now. We can get started. I have got a family that I'm covering this case for, so I'm trying to get through the case without too many going back. So if you come on in a little later, don't worry. There'll be a recap in between what we're talking about. Good to see you, Clementine. Good looking young man. And he's also in the Hispanic community once again. Okay. As you know, obviously, I'm Spanish and Puerto Rican. I covered the Madeline Soto case when they wanted coverage by the Hispanic community. And here I am again. All right, guys. So come on in. Thank you guys for being here. Let's spread this everywhere that we can. I know everybody's watching something else or doing something else, but let's be here right now. I've got the goal up. If you want to help with the goal, get a membership, gift a membership, or buy me a coffee for CrimeCon 2026. All right. Let me tell you. Now I'm gonna tell you. Look at this young man, 22 years old. Okay. I'm gonna call him Morty. 22-year-old Morty. He went missing just 3 days before Thanksgiving of 2025. Now, this year, I don't know on the calendar, November 21st, 2025. And his disappearance is still ongoing. The search continues, and the family is collecting funding to help the search continue. All right. Now, the family I talked to, and I'm very grateful that I was able to get any kind of statement. Okay. Now, I always want to know what the family wants me to talk about. Yes, you are hilarious. Latina, baby. And Hispanic community needs help. Listen, you get the white community with a lot of money, and they don't need me. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm here, but they don't need me in the way that this young man needs our help. Clark, big hug. Good to see you. All right. So listen, guys, the family says the biggest part, and I wanted to know from them, what angle are we looking at at this case? Actually, they asked me, Jay, what angle are you taking? I don't want some conspiracy theory. Well, guys, you know me. I am far from a conspiracy theorist. I'm probably the perfect person to cover facts of the case. All right. So we're going to get into facts of the case and then we'll talk about it. Glad you're here. Glad everybody's here. I just saw a cold case 14 minutes ago. It came out, a cold case connected to who else? Ted Bundy. Just now they're solving a cold case from Ted Bundy's killing spree. That's how you guys know cases go cold and people stay missing. What's up, Harris, Maggie, Kathleen? All right, let's get to it. Here's the family statement. I think the biggest part of this case is with Adam. Now, Adam is the person that Morty had a restraining order on. So let me just read it. I think the biggest part of this case is with Adam, is that he had a restraining order in place and it was violated a number of times. Now, Adam reported him missing over 30 hours after the last time he was seen on the missing persons poster picture, which is not the story that Adam gave to law enforcement. Law enforcement took Adam's story as truth, but now he's the one that has the most to lose, right? So the family's not happy with this. I don't blame them. Let me tell you a little story and then we'll get into the visuals, okay? This is the person of interest. Now, I looked him up. Who is Adam Zalek? That is the person of interest. He came loud and clear that this is the person of interest in the Morty Wortman case, okay? He's walking free, all right? So we're going to get into who he is and what happened in today's episode. Now, listen. Go back to November 21st, 2025, 10:30 p.m. at night in a parking lot of Regional Day School in New Jersey, Jackson Township, New Jersey. Now, Morty's car was found parked at a school, which sits near the entrance of, now, if you're local and you know Collier Mills Wildlife Management Area, which obviously has been a big search effort. It's a massive 12,000 acre tract in Ocean County. Now we're talking about New Jersey. So if you guys come in and say, where is this, Jay? It's in New Jersey. All right. I'm in California. So you guys are welcome to correct me if I say something, I don't pronounce it right. All right. Collier Mills Wildlife Management. Massive 12,000 acres. And you know, the search has been in full effect. The family doesn't think that he's out there, but they want him to be brought home. Now, surveillance footage showed this young man that you see next to me, Morty, getting into a vehicle with an acquaintance. You know who the acquaintance was? Adam, the person I showed you that he had a restraining order on. Now, Morty has not, I repeat, has not been seen or heard from since. And he failed to show up for Thanksgiving dinner with his family a few days later. People don't go missing on purpose days before Thanksgiving or Christmas, my friends. Now, law enforcement and search teams have focused extensively on the Collier Mill Woods and High Bridge Road area. If you know the area, you'll know. But there's no sign of him. So who's the person that he has a restraining order on, and why did he get in the car with him? Well, that person is the central person in this investigation. His name is Adam. Now, while reports describe Adam as the last person to see Morty alive, he still hasn't been charged with a thing in connection with Morty's actual disappearance, guys. Listen, there's footage of Morty getting into Adam's car, and then the next day, Adam calls law enforcement 30 hours later. Now, he was facing serious charges from a prior incident involving Morty that occurred in July of 2025. And why is he still walking around, and why have we not yet brought Morty home? Good to see you guys. FloJo TV's in the house. All right. Let me show you who he is, and then I'll tell you who Adam is, okay? Let's take a look at this. There's a lot of media content from the Facebook group, from the family that wants him home. Okay, there's Facebook and there's Instagram, and I'm going to share those both with you. They say never a dull moment with Morty. I'll read it to you. I play it because I can't play the music. All right. Who is Morty? Who's Mortimer or Mortimer? Morty Mekhai Wortman. Hashtag bring Morty home. All right. His family says never, family and friends, never a dull moment with Morty / Kai. Just seeing that smile will light up any room. We won't stop. Now you can see on the screen, he went reported missing on Saturday, the 22nd. The family wants to hashtag bring Morty home. And we know who the person is of interest that's walking around. And this is wild, because if you were in the Nancy Guthrie case, and we saw Nancy Guthrie get into a car of said individual, you better bet your ass that that person would be locked up already. So why is that not the case? Do you see who Morty is? He looks like a loving, kind, beautiful soul. And I'm sure his family feels that way as well. All right. So who's Morty? That is the embodiment that embodies his spirit from the family. All right. So that's who he is. And we're going to show you the Bring Morty Home. You guys should definitely go to Facebook and go to the groups page. I'll drop it down because I had trouble finding it as well. Join the group. All right. Bring Morty Home. This is Jackson, New Jersey. And reason I did green today for the thumbnail is because they use green. I assume that that's the color that he loved. Okay, we're the voice until you are home. Bring Morty home. So I'm following this. I thought I already followed it, but that was my other computer. All right, so bring him home. I can do a whole episode off of this Facebook alone, but I won't because I have another episode planned. Okay, so this whole thing is about Morty, who he is. Bring him home. He looks like a beautiful soul to me. How about you guys? All right, let's take a look at him. Just a happy character. Mekhai will be found. Right, there's the missing person reward, $10,000. Age 22, African American / Hispanic male, 5'10", weighing 185 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. Now he has a star tattoo on the left thigh and goat and jester tattoo on the right arm. You can see he has multiple nose piercings. He was last seen at the regional day school located at 890 Tom River Road in Jackson Township. Now, if you're from New Jersey, then you'll know. Okay. You can see there's a 24-hour tip line down here. You guys should definitely go over and go follow this page. Bring Morty home. That's beautiful. I mean, look at they're doing. Their efforts are what's out there right now. Their efforts. Thank you. I appreciate that, Harris. I really do. All right. If I had one, I'd be wearing it right now. Happy birthday to the best big brother. And I got to tell you, his family absolutely adores him and they miss him. They miss him, guys. His brother is one of the biggest advocates out there. You're going to see because they're all over the news stations and anything that they can to bring Morty home. All right. What a beautiful family. They want him home. It says, your big brother will always be your first best friend. He is the one that will guide you and teach you all about life's lessons. He wants nothing but the best for you since you reflect him. In their eyes, no one is stronger, wiser, or more powerful than a big brother. Their big brother. He will shield you from abuela's chanclita. For those that don't know, since it's easier for him to endure physical pain than to go through the emotional pain of watching you hurt. Because when you hurt, it hurts him 10 times more. And we're talking about Morty's big brother, a big brother that loves him and cares. Okay, he's going through pain and hurt 10 times more. He's there to lead your way, always encouraging you to be unapologetically yourself. Because like you, there's no other. He listens and doesn't judge no matter what happens. You know he will always stand for you, with you and beside you. Because that is just an amazing big brother. That's what an amazing big brother does. Not because he has to, but because he wants to. Ivan, today on this birthday, we want you to know how appreciated you are. You carved a path of greatness, not only for your own siblings, but for all your cousins, giving them all the reason to continuously strive. That is from the family, and the family is ever present. These people are not hiding out in the background or covering their faces or any of that. They're out there and they're looking and they want him to be brought home. All right. What's up, everybody? What's the background? All right. We're going to start. I'll get into some visuals for the people Foxy Amazon said, just gifted a guilty of crime membership. If you receive that membership, please thank Foxy. All right, I want to tell you a little bit of story about the man that pled guilty to threatening Morty, who's been missing since September. All right, I know the visual people are ready to see these characters. Right, this man pled guilty to threatening Morty, who's a Rutgers University student who's been missing since November 21st, reported on November 22nd of 2025. Adam Zalek avoids jail time by pleading guilty. You guys are going to be pissed when you see what I'm talking about. Today, we talk about the man, Adam, who's walking around with no repercussions. Last person to see Morty alive.
Student Morty Wortman, the night he disappeared back in November, was in court today where he pled guilty to threatening Wortman with a knife months before he went missing. Our News 12 New Jersey's Chris Keating in Toms River to explain what happened in court.
Thank you.
Rutgers student Morty Wortman has been missing for 101 days. To be clear, these charges that Adam Zaluk is facing have nothing at all to do with his disappearance, even though Morty's family is convinced that Zaluk knows where Morty is. Adam Zaluk stood before the judge and agreed to this plea deal, while family and friends of Morty Wortman.
Now, I want you to understand that this family is not just sitting around watching the news and waiting. They're out there actively searching, and rightfully so. And you know that if your family member were missing and you saw the footage of your family member getting into a car of a man that had a restraining order because he didn't want his sexual advances towards him, threatens him with a knife, and now he's gone missing, and this guy is out walking free. All right?
Sat behind him with posters of the 22-year-old missing since November. Zaluk admitted to a charge of making terroristic threats, and he'll receive pre-trial intervention, avoiding any jail time. This is video from July in Point Pleasant showing Morty after calling police on Zaluk. The two men were involved romantically in some way. Morty told them that Zaluk threatened.
Now, I'm not quite sure that the news is correct about that. The family didn't tell me that they had a sexual connection. I do believe that Zulok or Adam wanted to sexually advance things with Morty, but Morty had turned him down. And maybe at some point they were, and whatever. It's all the same thing, right? Yes, same county as Corey Michelow. Right. Also say a prayer for Corey Michelow. It's been 5 years. 5 years, guys. All right. So this is Morty, and he was last seen with Adam. All right. We need to get Adam into an interrogation room and let him talk to law enforcement about what happened to Morty.
Threatened him with a knife because he turned down his sexual advances. Police say Zaluk then carved the word slut into Morty's car. In court, Wortman's father was allowed to speak today, saying he didn't like this deal.
I truly believe Adam knows where my son is at. He's been stalking him, calling the house, threatening to kill him.
We believe he deserves to be prosecuted further.
The Ocean County prosecutor explained that if Morty was here to testify, they could push further with charges, but he's not. So they felt that.
Yeah, I was going to cover day 60 of Nancy, but then I ran across this case that needs the coverage so badly. Thank you, Ben. Thank you for that. All right. You see here? Do you see? I mean, we're talking about Nancy Guthrie. If this were the Nancy Guthrie case, that guy would have already been arrested and locked up, at least interrogated. Don't you think?
The plea deal was best, and Judge Ryan agreed.
The state's in a difficult position because the terrorist threat charge would likely need MW to be able to prosecute the case.
The night Wortman disappeared, November 21st, he was with Zaluk in Jackson Township at the Regional Day School parking lot. Zaluk told police that Morty walked off into the woods. And to this point, detectives have not linked Zaluk to harming Wortman, although others disagree.
He just walked off in the woods. You know how people do. It's kind of like how Sebastian just walked out of that front door and we haven't seen him since. Wow. You know that. Watched the amazing rocket launch tonight just before the show. Yeah, Nancy, in my opinion, say a prayer for Nancy and Morty. They should all have equal coverage, by the way.
Had something to do with it. He was telling me back in the summer that he was being stalked by him, and there was numerous conversations where he expressed his fear for that.
They said that he can't be charged because there's no evidence, because there's no victim present. What are we supposed to do?
The search for Wortman continues. There's a $10,000 reward for information leading to Morty, and a nonprofit called the Q Center for Missing Persons has agreed to investigate. Going forward, as part of this deal, Zuluk will have to undergo mental health evaluations and drug testing. Zuluk's attorney did not want to speak. In Toms River, I'm Chris Keating, News 12 New Jersey.
All right, so we want the focus on Adam Zuluk, however you say it, Adam. We want to bring Morty home, and we want to get rid of this monster from the street that doesn't belong. They at least need to get him in there for interrogation purposes, right? And the reason I'm coming back to him is because today I ask you the question, who was the man he was with? This is the man he was with when the camera saw him walk off and get into his car for the very last time, right? They know where he is. They know where this guy is. Now, had something to do with it, New Jersey man who threatened missing college student with a knife walks free as a family cries foul. All right. A New Jersey man will evade jail time after he was charged with threatening a college student. All right. 22-year-old Morty, who's been missing for months. Now, family members believe that Adam is connected to Morty Wortman's disappearance. Wortman, a Rutgers University student, like I said earlier, went missing November 21st, 2025. Just days before Thanksgiving. Now, the day he vanished, this is the important part, he was last seen with Adam Zuluk in the parking lot of a school in Jackson Township, New Jersey. All right, that's the key right here. Now, Adam reported him missing, guys, but he reported him missing the next day. And then he told officers he saw him walk into a nearby wildlife area and never return. You know how that goes, right? Jack and Lily just out into the never land. We don't know what happened. I know. And that's why I need you guys to see this case and understand the gravity of this situation. This is not a cold case by any means. Okay, this is months since he's been missing. We know where Adam is. Now, listen, Adam told police that he and my little brother went into the woods. Okay, Wortman's brother, Ivan Marks, told NewsNation they had some type of argument or disagreement in the woods. And Morty stormed off upset, saying that he'll just walk home himself. Now, family members say that that statement is an absolute lie. That does not match with the evidence they have. Authorities have searched 12,000 acres of wooded area for any signs of Morty, but they still haven't located him. He remains missing as of we're April Fools, April 1st, 2026. Now, guys, listen, months before the disappearance, Adam was charged with making terroristic threats at Morty. The pair were reportedly in a romantic relationship at the time. The charges stem from an incident from the prior summer where Marty told police that one day he rejected Zuluk's sexual advances. And Adam became angry. He threatened him with a knife. Then he used that same knife to carve the word slut into the side of Marty's car. He also rammed the back of Marty's car before fleeing the scene. Now, Adam pled guilty. We just saw him on March 2nd to making terroristic threats in exchange for 0 jail time, according to News 12. And the Ocean County prosecutor offered the plea deal because Wortman wasn't available to testify. Well, I guess Morty can't testify if he's not around. The judge oversaw the case, agreed with the assessment, stating that Wortman or Morty is needed in court to proceed with the prosecution. As part of the deal, he'll have to undergo trial or pretrial intervention, mental health evaluation, and drug testing. Other charges that he faced, including weapons possession and criminal mischief, were dropped because Morty's missing, guys. Now, His family members who were at the plea hearing declined the bargain. They spelled it wrong or something. Although the authorities never linked Zalak to Wortman's disappearance. Now it's Morty and Adam. Family and friends are convinced, and I think you guys are convinced now, that he should at least be brought in for an interrogation, and they should look through his devices like no other time they ever have. Now, I truly believe Adam knows where my son is at. He's been stalking him, calling the house, threatening to kill him. That's Morty's father. We just heard him in court. All right. Wortman's family started a GoFundMe. I put that into the chat. The GoFundMe has raised almost $40,000, guys, to help with resources to track him down. There's also a $10,000 reward for information leading to Wortman's whereabouts. Okay. So there we are, ready to go. I hope you guys are with me. It's very haunting. And what's even more haunting is that this guy is walking around right around the family. The family can go out there and go into somewhere and he'll be in there eating. And I'm not saying that's happened. I'm saying he's right there in New Jersey, free. Many charges dropped because the victim is missing. All right. Yeah, thank you guys for the prayers. How's everybody doing? Hit that like button. New Jersey is wild. The Corey Mitchell case was tried there, and I wasn't happy, and neither. We'll just say we weren't happy with the outcome of the Christopher Gregory case. All right. So who's Adam? He's described as an acquaintance of Morty. It's not super clear if they were in a romantic relationship at one point or just, fooling around. That happens when you're 22 years old. You fool around with people. He was the last person to see Morty and the one who actually alerted police. So he called law enforcement himself. According to reports, Zulak or Adam told investigators they had a heated argument before Morty went into the woods. He's literally telling law enforcement that he got into his car, they went out to the woods and had an argument. Guys, am I crazy, or is this a racial thing? Is this a it's two gay men thing? I'm not really sure, because back in the day, I remember when I would report on cases where there were, so to speak, homosexuals. They didn't get the coverage. And why is this not getting the coverage it deserves? Now, he lives in Staten Island. Prior to the charges against him and Morty, involving Morty, were in July of 2025. All right. And we already went over those charges quite a bit. He was later charged with violating a no contact order, obviously, because Morty got into his car. All right. We saw him in court. Why hasn't he been arrested in the disappearance? That's a great question. His family has publicly called for Adam's arrest, expressing frustration that he has not been named a suspect despite the prior history of threats and being the last person to see Morty. However, law enforcement has not made any arrest related to the disappearance. Authorities state the case is ongoing and foul play hasn't been ruled out. This is ridiculous, guys. No direct evidence links him to Zulak, to any crime in the disappearance that has been disclosed. I beg to differ there. I beg to differ. Yes, number one, why did he get in the car? Number two, he got in the car. And number three, he got in the car with Adam Zalak, or however you say his name. All right. Extensive searches. There have been extensive searches in the area, and it's yielded no results. Obviously, in my opinion, Adam did something to Morty and took hours, probably 24 hours, to clean up. Then he called law enforcement. Now, police may be building a case or lack of sufficient evidence for an arrest. Extensive searches have yielded nothing regarding allegations of Morty and Adam on Grindr. Now, there are unverified online rumors suggesting that Adam and Morty has resurfaced on dating app. No, not Adam and Morty. That Adam has resurfaced on dating apps like Grindr. So watch out for this guy, guys. If you guys are in the area, watch out for him. Morty's family and community continue to search and hold vigils The $2,000 reward has now been upped to $10,000. And I think I saw that it said Jelly Roll and his wife actually were the people that put up the additional money. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. I'll show that later on. All right, let's get back into it. Let's take a look at this coverage by CBS New York, which I need to subscribe to. It's a plea for help from the family. And this is coming up to, this was right when it happened. We're going to build up into today.
Right now at 5:30, a family of a missing student clinging onto hope as the search for their loved one stretches into its third week. Good evening. I'm Christine Johnson.
Welcome back. I'm Jessica Moore. The family of Mortimer Wortman IV reported his disappearance last month.
And tonight, they tell Christine Sloan they want the person he was last seen with to be investigated.
Our concerns are for our son. We want to know where he's at.
Mortimer Wortman IV's family refusing to give up, searching for him almost daily in these woods in Jackson, New Jersey.
I'm very hopeful. My family and I are very hopeful, and we believe he is alive somewhere. We have a lot of faith.
Family members say Morty, as he was known to his friends, was last seen on surveillance video at around 6 o'clock in the evening, Friday, November 21st, getting into a car with an acquaintance who was charged this past summer.
And it's weird that they don't tell the acquaintance's name. Adam Zulak, guys. Adam Zulak. Remember that. Yo, Mab's in the house. Hit that like button, guys. We have a small chat today. There's 94 people, but it can grow if you hit that like button and drop a comment. All right. It's a full moon shambling in. Well, I'm in Cali. It's only 4:30 here, so I don't see the moon yet, but let's go, guys. Come on. Let's get to this. Let's bring this guy to justice. Let's bring Adam to justice, get him into interrogation, and find Morty. All right.
With threatening the 22-year-old Rutgers University student with a knife.
He was chasing my son somewhere around town in Point Pleasant. The public called and he got arrested. There was no bail. They let him out.
The family says that man was the person who reported Wortman missing a day later. CBS News New York confirming that with a law enforcement source, but not identifying him because he has not been charged in connection with the disappearance.
I think my little brother is, he likes to see the best in people. And I'm sure he could have been coerced or persuaded to, get in that vehicle.
Wortman's brother says there's no evidence he was forced into the vehicle, but they want authorities to re-interview the acquaintance.
Now, you guys understand that when you're in a relationship and somebody or something goes awry or there's some kind of fight, that typically you're the number one suspect, especially when this person was seen getting into your car. You're the one that reported them missing many hours later, and you have a restraining order against you. What is the deal with this case? That's not even, I can't even understand or fathom this. Edith, hello to you. And Lori, how are you doing? Good to see you. This makes no sense, guys. Adam Zulak needs to be brought in.
I would like you to share more information on helping my little brother become found.
Wortman is a senior at Rutgers University studying agriculture. His family is asking anyone with information to come forward.
Mortimer's a great kid. Loves nature, very humble. I want him home. Our family wants him home.
We reached out to the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office about this case. No one has returned our call. In Ocean County, New Jersey, Christine Sloan.
Now, I assure you, the family is actively searching. They actively searched day and night. No hiding, no smoke screens, none of that. All right. Family of missing Rutgers student. He's a university student, 22 years old, Morty. All right. They searched day and night. And I want you to see some of the search efforts that they had to go through in New Jersey. This was right after, but we're leading up until now. This wasn't long ago. November, December, January, February, March, 4 months or a little more. All right. Let's continue. This is in New Jersey, and the family is actively asking you for your support.
He's the best of us, That's why we care so deeply about him. Out of everyone in our family, he's like the light that's constantly shining on us.
There are no holiday celebrations this year for one family. Just an all-out effort to bring their loved one home.
Being a Latino family, we all spend a lot of time at our grandmother's house. So our grandma has pretty much taken a huge part in raising us. I used to spend summers at his house. Mekhai's like a little brother to me.
Omar Reyes is the older cousin of missing Mortimer Mekhai Wortman IV, a 22-year-old student at Rutgers, who's went missing out of his home in Jackson Township 3 weeks ago.
Right after that phone call, I just sat there and I just broke down.
According to Jackson Township Police, he was last seen around 10:30 on the night of November 21st in a wooded area near High Bridge Road.
All right, let me just stop this and say he was last seen in a wooded area with a man that has serious charges against him and a restraining order, getting into his car, not getting out of his car, and never being seen again. Okay? Make that make sense, all right? Missing Rutgers student. His name is Morty, all right? Mortimer Wortman. They call him Mekhai or Kai. I call him Morty. 22 years old, 5'10", 200 pounds, light skin, dark brown hair, brown eyes, nose piercings, several earrings on both ears. Last seen wearing a black t-shirt, burgundy hoodie, and blue jeans. In the woods, guys, mind you, all right? And nobody thinks he's just still in those woods. What's up, Rocco? Good to see you, buddy. I'm glad you're here. Hit that like button. Let's get this into the algorithm. Yes, the Ocean County, New Jersey. Rocco, you should know about this case because this monster, and I'm going to call him a monster allegedly, he's already been charged. This monster has already been charged with terroristic threats, possession of a weapon, which is a knife. He carved slut into his car, and he was the last person to be seen with this guy, Morty, right? Why is he still walking around? 444. Let's say a prayer that Morty gets to justice and the family brings him home. That's what time it is. All right, let's continue. All right.
Wortman's family tells us the person who reported him missing is the same person that was involved in an altercation with him over the summer.
Immediately, I knew something wasn't right. Something didn't add up.
Jackson Township Police referred us to the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office, who would not comment, saying it's an ongoing investigation. As police search for Mekhai, so does his family, day and night.
We have all types of flashlights and, hand warmers and a bunch of stuff that we bought to keep us, warm and prepared. We've been out there when it's raining, out there when it's foggy, out there when it's cold.
The family tells us they've searched trails within Collier's Mills, a wildlife management area that spans more than 12,000 acres of Ocean County. With few answers, the family is pleading for anyone with information to come forward.
Okay.
Now, can you imagine if they already had done a proper interrogation and requested or got a search warrant for Adam's phone and data, cell phone data, how much they'd find? They'd probably find where he drove that night to dump the evidence. Yeah, now I'm not saying that I'm not saying dumped a body or anything like that, but there's a good possibility. All right. I know. I know. That's why I didn't cover Nancy Guthrie today, because other people need the same coverage. It's not fair.
If you are out there, please come home. We miss you. We love you.
If you have any information to share about Wortman's whereabouts, you're asked to get in touch with the Jackson Township Police. In Jackson, Jim Vassell, Pix 11 News.
All right, now let's get to their other page for Instagram. They are definitely making this easy to share his story and bring Mortimer home. All right. They're very active, where in the Nancy Guthrie case, there's money being thrown, $500,000 at the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Sure, I'll pay $1 million. No problem. Give me the coverage. But then Mortimer Wortman doesn't get any attention. I know. And can you imagine somebody saying, yeah, I got in a fight with this person and they went into the woods after knowing that this character was hitting on him or trying to do sexual advances that he just because he didn't want it, he's going to go right in his car and give him a terroristic threat. Adam has family in law enforcement. If Adam does have family in law enforcement, then welcome to New Jersey, to New Jersey's finest system. And I say that with the utmost sarcasm. All right. Who's the guy he got in the car with? Adam's the guy he got in the car with. He was an acquaintance of Morty. Now, he was involved with him in a friendship way. At some point, it seems that it may have been sexual. But when Adam was turned down by Morty, after harassing him, threatening him, stalking him, and getting a registered restraining order, that's who he got in the car with. That guy you see right there, that's still out. All right, so they also brought this on Instagram. I gave you the Facebook one. There's an Instagram, and it's Bring Mortimer Home. All right, I'm going to show you some of these pictures here. And this Miss Acid Reflux is the person that made this or created this. I'm assuming this is a friend in the community. All right, so let me show you some of those pictures. Made this to showcase how Mortimer is and how much light he brought into everyone's day, saying his name and keep fighting the injustices that harm our communities. We can't leave this case cold. This could happen. This could very much happen to anyone in our community or your community. It's time to speak up, guys. A criminal, Adam Zalak, the last person to come in contact with Morty, still roams free with no charges. They dropped the serious charges because he wasn't in court. You know why he wasn't in court? Because he was missing. He deserves no peace, and Adam will not run away from the truth. We will find Morty and bring justice to his family. Keep sharing, engaging, and amplifying this case. We cannot lose hope until we find answers. All right, so I'm just going to run through these pics real quick so you can see his community, the community, his friends. He's a college student, 22-year-old. I believe he was in his last year. All right. Just a beautiful soul that is missing. And not just missing, the family misses him. And what can we do, guys? Keep sharing posts, talk to friends, read about the disappearance in media, do research, donate to GoFundMe, show up to fundraisers, reach out to this person and plan events or ideas, show up with searches in person, find info on Adam and his family, help set up and organize events. All right, so this is Nick. It's actually Nick. I got that wrong earlier. It's Nick Mosio. I'm not really sure how to pronounce his name, but I am going to send you his handle. All right. That is his threads and his handle from Instagram. I know a lot of people might not use that, but if you're an Instagram person, there you go. Brenda, where is a Bring Morty homepage? It's right here in Facebook, in the Facebook groups. Let me drop you a link, my friend. Brenda, here is the Bring Morty Home Facebook group. Right there, my friend, right in chat. There absolutely should be more female detectives. I agree. Look at this. This beautiful young man, Rutgers. Is this his graduation? He did it. He did what he was supposed to and more. And now he's missing. Oh, that makes me so upset. All right, let's take a look at the Bring Kai home efforts. And don't worry, we got so much more today. All right, you guys, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, get a membership. When I do get to a stopping point where I can play a video, sorry, guys, I'm going to gift a membership, okay? So if anyone wants to help with the memberships, super chats, or whatever towards a goal, it would be helpful. Thank you. All right. You're going to pound someone. All right. Bring Kai home. Now, notice his name is Morty. I call him Morty. Mortimer's his name. They call him Kai. Bring Kai home. Now, this is a news article from dailytargum.com. And this is what I want everybody to see. The last person to see missing university student pleads guilty to threatening him. Family seeks answers. Now we're up to speed today on this article, March 4th, 2026. Right now we're April 1st today, so it's almost a month out. Adam Zalok, one of the last individuals who was in contact with missing Rutgers student Morty Mekhai Wortman, and he reported him missing, guys. He pled guilty on that Monday to threatening Morty with a knife back in July. Yet Adam allegedly threatened Wortman on July 26, 2025 at knife point after Morty rejected his sexual advances. Now, according to multiple reports, Adam has used the same knife to carve slut into Wortman's car as well. Now, Adam was later arrested on these charges unrelated to Wortman's disappearance, but now he took a plea deal to avoid time, and they dropped some of the charges because Morty is missing. Now, Morty's friends and family continue to call for further investigation, alleging that they had a history, Adam, had a history of stalking him and harassing him in the months that led up to his last sighting, which was by Adam. All right, they believe that he had a hand in the circumstances surrounding Morty's disappearance, and I would have to agree. All right, loved ones have been present at Adam's court appearances and hearings, holding posters and signs to remind the room that Wortman remains missing, or Morty. Some members have expressed frustration with the plea deal that was reached, convinced that Adam knows more about the location of Morty than he's discussed. And by the way, family says he's lying about any other details. They're not true. All right. His accounts are not true. Now, Adam Zalok is the only person who can tell us where Morty is, but he won't. So we still are searching, reads the captions of an Instagram post by Nicholas Mochio. That's who I just showed you. After attending the hearing, we will not stop searching until we find Mortimer Wortman and we bring him home. Now, the court hearing occurred a day after the candlelight vigil was held on the College Avenue campus, organized by Morty's family. His loved ones continue to spearhead the hashtag Bring Morty Home campaign and raise awareness and funds to support investigations into his disappearance. Jackson Police Department and Ocean County Prosecutor's Office are currently leading the ongoing investigation into Morty's disappearance. They have not yet responded to any specific questions. Wortman's family currently has a $10,000 reward for anyone who may have information leading to him being found. Family urges individuals to contact Jackson Police Department and or Community United Effort at 910-232-1687. All right. Yes, bring him home. Let's continue. I'm going to gift some memberships here in a bit. Thank you, The Jab, for coming through with the $2 super chat or super sticker. All right, let's move on. We've got a lot today. I made sure I did as much research as possible to get this out there for the family. All right. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go with this because NewsNation covered this case barely. Okay. And when I say barely, I am grateful for the barely. All right. NewsNation just recently, January 30th, 2026, they're doing missing person updates randomly because there's a lot of people that need outreach. And luckily, Mortimer Wortman was picked on NewsNation. All right. So we're going to go over this. We're going to take a look. This is already weeks on missing. Marnie Hughes is her name. She looks at the case of 22-year-old Rutgers University student. They call him Mekhai. So if you get confused, it's Morty or Mekhai, who just vanished days before Thanksgiving. All right. I'm so glad they did this. I am so glad they did this piece on him, guys. I'm grateful for that. All right, let's go.
And this is Missing. Thank you for joining us. Each week, we cover a missing person case that isn't getting much attention. Every missing person matters, no matter their race, background, or circumstances. And by highlighting the cases and sharing the stories, we believe every case is solvable. And together, we can bring answers to the family and friends of the missing.
And I agree. And we have to do more of this, guys. We need to do more missing persons and outreach for people that need it. Now, can we do it all the time? No, but we can do it more often. Right now, they're going to get into quickly another teen that went missing that hasn't been found. I'm going to let you see this because it's important as well.
Search for Thomas Medlin in New York. He is 15 years old. His family believes he left his school in Long Island and headed into the city to meet up with someone he had met.
Actually, I believe we found him. Is that correct? I think they found his body. Tiff, if you could take a look at Thomas Medlin and let me know. Thank you so much, Rose. All right, Thomas Medlin, I that name is familiar, so I'm not going to continue going into that. We did cover this, and I do believe his body was found. Yep. Thank you, Tiff. I appreciate you. He was found, guys. So his body has been found now, and we're looking for Morty. All right. Other girls that have vanished without a trace. All right. I want to make sure I'm getting into the right.
But then, I hear this little voice.
Okay.
Family of Chris Palmer are asking the search.
All right. We can't. All right, here we go.
The student was expected home to visit his family and pick
Thank
up his
you.
newly repaired cell phone. Instead, police knocked on the family's door to say he was missing. That news was a shock to the family of Mortimer Mekhai Wortman. The next shock was learning who reported him missing.
Yes.
And now, more than 2 months later, they are still searching for him.
All right, listen, we're going to give some memberships. Please, guys, I really ask you to get this in the algorithm. Share it in your Facebook groups, Instagram, all of that. Let's get some coverage on this case for this family. Okay, they are very active, and this is not, let me repeat this, this is not a cold case.
An icy wet snow not extinguishing hope for 22-year-old Mortimer Wortman.
Just to see that turnout in that weather, it spoke volumes to the lives he's touched.
That was just emotional to see everybody come out, see everybody together. It almost makes it real in a sense.
Known as Morty to his friends at Rutgers University, his family calls him Mekhai.
Mekhai is just light. He literally illuminates any place he walks in with his smile, his curiosity, his kindness.
Wortman was last seen November 21st, reportedly captured on surveillance video outside the regional day school in Jackson Township, New Jersey, getting into a car with an acquaintance. According to Wortman's family, the acquaintance reported him missing the next day, telling police they had gone into the nearby Collier's Mills wildlife area to hang out.
Adam told police that him and my little brother went into the woods and they had some type of argument or disagreement.
Yeah, I'm sure that happened. I'm sure he just disappeared in those woods. Jen Johnson, you're in PA right next door. Please spread the word and share this link. All right. Good to see you, SoCal. I meant to answer you earlier. You thought I was going live, but I do clips earlier in the day. Every day, guys, I'm here at 4 p.m. California time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. All right. Thank you. He did not go into the woods and disappear. And what I got to tell you is that Adam, the last person to see him alive, they have surveillance footage. They literally have surveillance footage where he parked his car. Morty's car was found abandoned in that same parking lot. And 18 hours later, Adam reports him missing. He literally claims that they had a fight and Morty walked into the woods. It says Morty and Adam were romantically involved at one point, but besides that, Morty didn't want it anymore. If you don't want it anymore, you're allowed to say no.
In the woods, and Mekhai stormed off upset, saying that he'll just walk home himself.
Authorities have fanned out searching the vast 12,000-acre preserve and the fire pit area where the argument reportedly happened. But so far, no clues.
I mean, every day someone is going out searching.
I miss Morty so much. We all miss him so much. And we will not stop looking for him until we find him and we bring him home.
Wortman's mom and family not giving up.
Literally day in, day out. As soon as she can hit the pavement or the wooded area, she's there.
Mekhai!
Okay, so we
Now, two major things we're focusing on today, and I hope everybody that wanted a membership got a membership. I just gifted 5. 2 things I want you to remember. Morty Mekhai Wortman. Bring him home. New Jersey. Number 1. Number 2, the man he was with when he was last seen going into the woods having a fight with this guy having a knife was Adam Zalak. Okay. We saw him in court earlier, and I'll continue to put his face out on the news. All right, let's continue.
Found this place right here. It looks like it has a door.
We try to cover as much land as possible. Nothing dropped, nothing snagged on a tree branch. There's just no trace.
The family's suspicious because they say the man who reported Wortman missing was Adam Zaluk. At the time, Zaluk was facing criminal charges stemming from an incident over the summer. According to the affidavit, it started when Wortman refused Zaluk's romantic advances.
Now, listen, this is key evidence. You guys tell me if right now I go and call into Pima County or FBI and I say, hey, I just found surveillance footage of Nancy Guthrie getting into this person's car. And that person had threatened her last year because she fired him for not cleaning her pool right. You best believe they would have that person interrogated, cell phone data, emergency search warrants like we've seen. What's the difference in this case? That's what I ask you. I know the difference in this case. What do you guys think? I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. Patricia, thank you so much for the $9.99 super sticker. I do appreciate you. All right, let's continue. This is the man that said not said, there was surveillance footage, wanted a sexual favor. He declined him.
Zaluk allegedly became irate and threatened Wortman with a knife, then used the knife to carve a word into the side of his car, and then rammed the back of Wortman's car before leaving the scene.
Damn.
Zaluk's trial on those charges is on hold without Wortman to testify. Mekhai's family was at the courthouse and is frustrated.
There's just a lot of things that's just not checking out in his story.
Wortman's family says despite a no-contact order, in the weeks leading up to the disappearance, Zaluk's white SUV had been spotted outside Mekhai's house.
His dad said he did look out there and saw the car out there, and then the car pulled up.
I just want to know if it's New Jersey that has the problem, or is it because it's a Hispanic community or the LGBT community? I'm not really sure. What more evidence do you need? Exactly. Thank you for saying that, Gopher. That was the best comment of the year. Best comment of the year. What more evidence do you need to arrest this guy? Hey, I got a restraining order against this girl here, but if she goes missing, then I don't have to go to trial. Can you imagine? Can you freaking imagine? Maybe it's in New Jersey, but I don't know that area. I mean, I don't know the area at all, but it's by Collier Mills. Do you know where Jackson's Collier Mills Wildlife Management is? That's where it is in New Jersey. All right. I don't know. Jackson Township is the area. I don't know that because I'm in Cali.
They say Mekhai loved the woods, and they don't believe he simply got lost, especially with his car parked nearby.
Like, he could have got lost in the night, but I know by the next day he would have found his way somewhere. It is very mind-boggling.
The big question, why would Mekhai have gotten into a car with the man accused of threatening him?
I think Mekhai is that person who gives everyone the benefit.
And again, you guys asked that question. I asked that question, and I believe him. I believe that this answer was just straight up. This guy has a beautiful soul, beautiful spirits, and he likes to, he doesn't want aggression or arguments. Maybe he just wanted to make it right with him and say, hey, man, it's all, it's cool that we don't, whatever, but hey, give him the benefit of the doubt. And then he goes disappearing. What's up, Wolfpack? Good to see you. If this happened in Virginia, this guy would be sitting in a jail. Exactly. My goodness. What else do we need?
To a car with the man accused of threatening him.
I think Mekhai is that person who gives everyone the benefit of the doubt and always, sees something good in someone.
We reached out to Adam Zaluk, as well as the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office, which is handling the investigation. Neither has responded. For now, Wortman's family holds on to hope, praying these won't be their last photos together.
And we just saw him on Halloween. If we knew that was the last time we would see him,
damn,
you know, we just wish we could have said so much more, you know, hugged him a little tighter.
He's definitely got a beautiful family, doesn't he? Absolutely beautiful family. Virginia don't play with these evil people. Apparently, neither does Arizona. But maybe it depends on the money you have. What do you think? I'm blown away by this case, and I think that's why I covered it today. Because normally, guys, don't get me wrong, I read your emails, but it takes me a while to put an episode together and get it going. This one I just knew I needed to cover today. All right, I'm in Ocean County, not that specific town, but 15 minutes. Normally, law enforcement isn't competent here. Obviously not. What more do you need is the best question of the year.
We have also learned 2 members of the local town council are personally offering a $2,000 reward for information that leads to Mekhai's safe return. State police are reminding anyone, hunters or hikers in that area, to be on the lookout for anything suspicious, pieces of clothing, belongings, which could provide clues. Adam Zaluk is scheduled back in court next week. He has not been named a suspect or a person of interest in Wortman's disappearance. Joining us now, Mekhai.
And we could change that. You want to know something? While I was researching this case, I looked up who the person of interest was, and I did my due diligence, and it actually came up as Adam Zellock or Zulak, however you say his last name. Look at his face. Adam, this guy right here. It came up as a person of interest. So that's just hashtag bring Morty home. All it takes is us to get this out there. Right? One person to see it that says, what the hell happened here? Why is he still? All right. Maggie says, Jamie, please. I just gifted some memberships. Yeah. What? Well, because they're not Nancy Guthrie. That's why. And I don't have a problem with throwing around money, but it's kind of not fair when you throw around money for some people and not others. But I guess that's the day and age we live in, right?
Mekhai's mom, Joanna Reyes. I know that this is difficult for you. I thank you so much for giving us some time and talking about your son. First of all, tell us about Mekhai.
Thank you,
he's
Mama.
Sweet, he's caring, he's respectful. There's so many things I could say about him.
She's been out there every day.
He tells me he loves me every day. He gives me hugs. He loves his little sister, his family. He visits his grandparents often. He loves school. He loves his friends. He has friends.
When was the last time?
It's like he has a ton of friends, but you know, the problem sometimes with same-sex relationships is that there's a lot of testosterone, and when there's a lot of testosterone and 2 males fight, it doesn't come out very well. Trust me, I'm in that community. I know. And now it makes sense why he got in the car with him. I believe he was just trying to have that closure. He's a man. They're both men. You don't think anything. You don't think, hey, this guy's going to take me out to the woods and dump me. You don't think that. You don't think that. But you get 2 people clashing that are heated. This guy's turning down Adam's sexual advances, and you're out in the woods already? How convenient. Hey, Panda Ann, good to see you. Hit that like button and share this, please. All right.
Joanna, you spoke to him.
Actually, I spoke to him on the phone the Thursday before on his iPad because his phone was broken. The Thursday. After that, it was just messages. Friday of, he was on his way home.
And if you notice in his pictures, he's got a ton of people in the family and friends and lots of support. Now, in the very beginning of this search, his mom was out there literally every day and every night, every day, every night. And they've collected 35,475 of the 40,000. All right. I mean, I'm going to share it again. It's the support to help them search. Go figure.
To pick up his phone. So his phone is significant because it was broken, it was getting fixed. And so he had difficulty communicating.
Yes. So and that was like my biggest stress. Like I was constantly for a couple of days, like, don't forget your phone. You need your phone. Pick up your phone.
Oh, believe me, I know. I mean, our kids with the phones, we know they have them, and it's our best way to keep track of them. So he lived with you, that's correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Shocking that the knock you got at the door was from police. Did you even know he was missing?
No.
Tell me about that moment when police showed up.
Now, let me let you picture this real quick. November 21st, 2025 was a Friday. Okay. On a Friday, he willingly got into the car with Adam. All right. And as I'm talking about this, 111, let's say a prayer that we get this footage out there and make a move in this case. We bring him home, bring Adam into the law enforcement, get him interrogated, and help the family. All right. I know, it's terrible. But just imagine days before Thanksgiving on a Friday, going out with somebody that you're just trying to break it off with. You drive to a park that everyone goes to. He drives there. You leave your car, you meet him, you get in his, and you never are seen again. All right. That's what happened in this case. But you know who was seen again? Adam. And you know whose charges got dropped? Most of them? Adam. You know why? Well, because Morty couldn't be in court because he's missing. All right, let's continue listening to Morty's mom.
Actually, I have a 2-year-old. He has a little sister, so I was putting her to nap, and I get the knock on the door. And that's when they said that somebody reported him missing, that a friend reported him missing. So I was like, what? And then they said his car was parked up the street at the...
And the friend that reported him missing, well, that was Adam.
Regional base one. I'm like, no. So we went, quickly ran over there.
Mm-hmm. Any leads in these searches that you all have conducted? Any evidence found along the way?
Nothing. And I'm out there every day. This has been the toughest week for me. It's snowing, it's ice out there. I don't even know if you could drive through those trails. I know it's hard driving around.
Mm-hmm. Well, the relationship with Adam comes into question. He was the one to report your son missing. What did he share about Adam in the days and weeks leading up to his disappearance?
Now, mind you, this character, Adam, is the perpetrator and the cause of the restraining order, carving out slut in his car, harassing him, terroristic threats. Morty's only 22 years old, Deborah. 22 years old. This young, beautiful man graduated, it looks like, or was about to graduate from Rutgers University. All right. 22 years old, 5'10", 200 pounds. Last seen with this man right here. All right. All right, let's continue.
Really nothing much at all. I know that I had texts prior saying, oh, my friend is going through something. I'm trying to help him out, but I never put 2 and 2 together. So I was I didn't even know that was Adam at the school when I saw him.
Mm-hmm. He has not been named a suspect or a person of interest in the case, but he has been charged from that July incident. What happened in July?
I got a phone call just saying, that he was out with a friend and they got into an argument and he attacked me. And I'm like, where are you? He had told me, he called me to make sure if I was home to lock the door.
See, I hadn't even heard that part yet. Like I said, I just got this case today and I knew I had to cover it before it starts getting busy with other cases. And are you guys hearing this? What's the problem here? What is the problem? I mean, there's a bunch of problems, but why? Why is that man still walking around? What?
First, he wasn't sure if Adam knew where he lived or the friend knew where he lived. So he was very scared.
Okay. And then in our story, there were several times where Adam's car was spotted outside of, was it your house?
Yes, I was actually at work. So when I heard about it, when I was told it already happened, and Mekhai was just like, no, I'm okay. He would just tell me no, I'm okay. I handled it. So I wasn't I thought he was okay. I just thought he was okay.
What is the what was the status at that point of him testifying against Adam in that trial?
I was told from my son that he didn't have to show up because they had a video.
I mean, really, they were going to go to trial. He was going to testify at the trial for what Adam did. Yes, Joanne, yes. What is going on here? Maggie says, my eyelashes curled at this handsome young man is not getting the attention in law enforcement working. It's sickening, right? It's disgusting. I don't understand.
Showing everything that happened so that he didn't have to physically show up to court.
Okay. What else had he shared? Was he concerned for his safety? Were there anything else unusual that stood out to you before he was last seen?
No, no.
What about Joanna police? What are they saying to you all right now?
Right now, they just keep saying that to trust them, everything is being investigated. But other than that, I have no answers. None.
It is, I'm sure, helpful and feels like support that you're getting from local community members. There's now a reward in this case. Do you know how that came about?
One of Mekhai's closest friends went to the Jackson board meeting and spoke out.
It's interesting though, because I'm looking at this video and it's weird. I don't even know why they would say that. I wonder if it's true. They say missing Rutgers. They always put student, which I understand why they're saying that, right? It gets more attention. You're a student, a young, good looking young man. Might as well say the student, since they're not going to have you look, or they're not going to look anyway. Listen, it says Jelly Roll and Bunny, his wife, boosted the reward to $10,000. It went from $2,000 to $10,000. Country star Jelly Roll and his wife Bunny stepped in to help the family by adding $8,000 to increase the reward to $10,000. And we're going to get to that after, but I just wanted to put that out there.
So that's how that came about.
Yeah, and 2 council members are now offering a reward. So your son was a student, we mentioned, at Rutgers. What is he studying?
Landscape architect.
And you said he enjoys school?
Yes, yes, yes.
He's 22 years old. How much school does he have left?
He was due to graduate this year, May.
Okay. Damn. And tell me about his plans after that.
Oh, he had plans. One thing he talked about, I'm from Puerto Rico. He wanted to move.
Hey, Puerto Rico. I didn't even know that. Puerto Rico. Oh, anybody Puerto Rican in the house? Maggie says, Jay, you are correct. Unfortunately, the money, gay and Latino, right? I agree. I mean, something's wrong. Me too. Love Jelly Roll. I don't know much about his wife, but I love his whole being, and I love how he cherishes his daughter. Justice is coming, and I hope so. This is not how we should do things.
Puerto Rico, because of all the hurricanes, he wanted to help reconstruct some of the land in Puerto Rico. He had a lot of dreams.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know it's hard. I know you miss him. What else do you want people to know about your son, how they can help? Anything else distinguishable about his appearance?
Appearance? He's kind. It's so much. He's not a threat to anybody. He's respectful. Like, if anyone knows anything at all that can help, or seen him, or was in that area that night, those woods, that can help, make the phone call. Like, just make the phone call.
Joanne, I'm sorry for what you and your family are going through. Thank you again. I know it's difficult to talk about. I sure appreciate your time, and my heart goes out to you.
I went from talking to him every day to complete silence. We need to find him.
Well, we'll do our best
to find him.
And I don't even correlate the two things of the weather in New Jersey at that time of year was probably freezing. They were talking about ice, and it was November. I'm in California, so we don't get that. Sometimes in November, it's 80 degrees here in California. But you know what? This mom, I don't cry often, but I get emotional. This mom is not only making me emotional, but it also makes me want to put this out even more. All right. He wants me to put this out more and make sure everybody sees it, because this is not okay. None of this is okay. I know. No, I know, and they need coverage. Somebody reached out from the family, extended part, and asked me, and then I reached out directly to the family member from the Bring Morty Home profile. So, yeah, I mean, their major statement, guys, their statement is that Adam's lying. That's the bottom line, is that they want you guys to know. They say the biggest part, I think the biggest part of this case with Adam is that he had a restraining order in place and he violated it a number of times. Adam reported Morty missing over 30 hours after the last time he seen him on the missing person poster picture, which is not the story that Adam gave to law enforcement. Law enforcement took Adam's story as truth, but he is the one that had the most to lose. That's what the family says.
We'll do our best to get the word out. Again, thank you, Joanna, for joining us. Wortman's hometown is also offering that $2,000 reward for information that leads to his safe return. If you have information about Mekhai's whereabouts, you can contact the Jackson Township Police Department. That number is on your screen, 732-928-1111. His family deserves answers, and he deserves answers. So please help us bring him home safely. Again, if you know
it's not like it's even a thing that they can't just go to Adam and freaking throw him in an interrogation room and talk to him. Like, that just doesn't make sense. You can't. Absolutely not. I know. Absolutely not. You can't control what your children do. And that's why it hits so close to home for all of us.
anything, even a small piece of information, reach out. If you have a missing case you think we should investigate, go to our missing page on newsnationnow.com.
All right, let's continue. You guys come over to me if you want to have a missing person. Again, we're talking about Mortimer Mekhai Wortman, or Morty. I call him Morty. That's how I remember him. Again, I just got this case today, and I'm doing my best to present it in the best possible way that gives the family coverage. Now, let me show you the fundraiser, since I think that's important as well. And then I'll show you, just recently, they have more search efforts. All right, because we've been putting this down. Help find Mortimer, Morty, or Mekhai. They have to make money to support for his search. Yet the Nancy Guthrie case has more support than they can ever handle. The United Cajun Navy, or whatever they're called, got declined. Why aren't they asking them? Where are they now? All right, so that's the GoFundMe. They've donated 89% of it's been donated. Mortimer was reported missing Friday, November 21st, 2025. Last seen in the Collier Mills Trails in Jackson, New Jersey. Mortimer is a kind and unique person who is deeply loved. All right, the fundraiser will be used to allocate resources for his discovery and or to hire a private investigator to help bring him home. I wonder if Jason Jensen would look into this. Jason Jensen is fantastic, and he does stuff out of the kindness of his heart because he can. Right? I should reach out to Jason Jensen and send this over. All right, let's continue. Thank you, Mom. Mama Pearl's in the house. Mama Pearl just donated. All right, let's take it. Thank you, Mom, so much. And everybody else that's here. I want you guys to also, let's take a look at this. Let me pull this down. I want you guys to see there's a lot of coverage, but all of it, I'm trying to put as much as I can that's respectful together. Some of it's just a weak attempt at being respectful. Now, this one I never would probably go to. It's an interesting channel, but I mean, sub up to them. They did a good job with this. It says that Jelly Roll and Bunny boost the reward to 10,000. And the channel is marked in my description. It's literally at Astrology for Mystics with Jen. Again, I'm not really sure why they're covering true crime, but hey, good job. All right. She tells it like it is. This monster threatened him with a knife earlier in the month during a disturbing incident and that resulted in criminal charges. Adam was the last person to see him ever. All right. And then country star Jelly Roll and his wife have stepped in. I want to listen to this.
To talk about the disappearance of a 22-year-old Rutgers University student,
This is
Mortimer
quick.
Wortman. Friends call him Morty. This case has one of the most disturbing timelines I've seen in a missing person.
And this is why I wanted to go over this, because you can't get past not only the timeline, but the situation that, well, I guess the timeline and the situation are a no-brainer, right? If I was Adam, I would watch my back, Janet. Good, and rightfully so. There is Adam's face. Adam needs, and I think Adam, I don't even know why I don't have his age on here, but for some reason he looks much older than 22, right? All right, let's continue. Let me see that and put that back up. All right. Timeline, guys. Disturbing timeline along with the incidences. And thank you to Jelly Roll and Bunny, which I'm going to tag in this video. I forgot to.
Person's investigation. Because months before Morty disappeared, a man threatened him with a knife.
I love it, man.
Rammed
Love
his
it.
car a couple of times. And that is the same man who was the last person to see Morty alive. And today, that man walks free.
Why the hell is he walking free, guys?
Wortman.
Hold on.
To Morty.
Damn,
What
he is
really
a,
happened to Morty?
he is a good-looking young man, isn't he? He's a beautiful soul, from what I hear as well. Man, it's such a shame that we just throw away lives in this day and age. I mean, look at this. I'm following the Gilgo Beach too. Gilgo Beach murders Rex Heuermann, and he's changed to guilty. He's going to take a plea deal. All right, he's going to take a plea deal. Well, of course, he doesn't want the death penalty, but you've got people like that get extensive coverage. Well, actually, the women didn't, and that's why Rex Heuermann was able to do it for so long. All right. I know, right? What a gorgeous young man. And from what I hear, his soul matched.
Let's break this case down. Mortimer Wortman, known as Morty, was a 22-year-old senior at Rutgers University, and he was studying landscape architecture and had a deep love for plants and nature. His family describes him as a gentle giant, an old soul, kind, talkative, extremely close to his mom. He was not someone who would simply just walk away.
Nope.
In fact, his family says disappearing would be completely out of his character. He wouldn't do it, which makes what happened next even more alarming.
I wonder what would have to happen, you guys, in order to get law enforcement to look at this case again. I mean, is there anybody in New Jersey that knows? I know. Is anybody that knows anybody or related to? I'm curious as to why they haven't picked this back up. I mean, the evidence is dwindling away, guys. The longer they don't approach Adam and make an arrest or give him a search warrant, the more evidence is going to be gone.
Months before Morty vanished, a disturbing incident that happened in July of 2025. According to court documents, a 33-year-old man named Adam Zolik allegedly asked Morty for a sexual favor. When Morty refused, Adam reportedly became furious. Investigators say he advanced toward Morty with a knife. Authorities say Adam then carved the word slut into Morty's car and rammed the vehicle twice. Morty actually recorded the entire incident on video, and Adam was charged with terroristic threats, weapons offenses, criminal mischief. Morty also filed a protective order, and according to the family, the stalking did not stop. Morty reportedly told friends he was being stalked continuously. His family says Adam's white SUV was repeatedly seen outside their home, even though a no contact order existed. Imagine.
By the way, I know we've went over this. I'm just putting the coverage out that was put in regards to Bunny and Jelly Roll putting 8,000 more into the reward. Also, do say a prayer. I'm not going to tell anyone's business, but say a prayer for Holly, who is one of our mods. All right. She's going through something with, just going through something, and she could use prayer. So say a prayer for Holly as well as the Wortman family. All right. Let's continue. I'm going to show you the search efforts right after this. I mean, this is literally just people are searching and searching and searching with nothing coming up at all.
Living with that fear. And then months later, Morty disappears. On November 21st, 2025, Morty met up with Adam. According to reports, they met near a regional day school in Jackson Township, New Jersey. From there, they drove into a wooded area near Collier's Mills Wildlife Management Area. It's got thousands and thousands of acres. At some point in the night, around 10:30, 11 o'clock, an argument allegedly breaks out. According to Adam, Morty suddenly ran off into the woods and vanished.
Now, remember this. This is all according to Adam. Adam's the person that was being charged with terroristic threats, that used the same knife to carve his car in. You tell me that he went to the woods and just walked off, and all of these search efforts haven't found a thing? Come on, give me a break here. And guys, thank you for the prayers. It does help. They do help. All right. So this is where they met. Adam parks his car. Morty parks his car, and then off they go into the woods. Now, mind you, had law enforcement been quick enough to get Adam's car and other things like his electronic devices, I bet you anything they'd find evidence.
Adam is the one that actually reported Morty missing the next day around noon.
What's going on here? My friends and I were here yesterday evening, and I believe it was around 10.
Now I remember. This is why I wanted to play this, because this is the 911 call by Adam, however you say it, Zalak, whatever. Now, this guy was charged with threatening to kill, weapon possession, unlawful, criminal mischief, property damage. This was all against Morty. Okay, he was in court because he assaulted and attacked and threatened and harassed Morty. And this is him making the 911 call. All right. That's what I wanted to. That's why I was like, what did I bring this clip up for? Okay.
Next day around noon.
What's going on here? My friends and I were here yesterday evening, and I believe it was around 10:30 or 11. We had an argument in the car, and he said, I'd rather walk home. And he stormed out, and he just kind of disappeared.
It's a 911 call. He's saying he stormed out of his car. Yes, they did find his vehicle. They found his vehicle parked where it was. He met him in the woods. All right. And that's him calling 911, what the family says 30 hours later.
And that delay is something investigators often look at very carefully, because when somebody disappears, time definitely matters. And here's another problem. Morty knew the woods. His family says he loved nature. He studied landscape architecture, and his car was only 2 miles away. His family believes there is no way he simply got lost. Morty's family began searching immediately. His mother has been out there, rain or shine, hours, weeks, months. She says her clothes have been ripped off. She's gotten stuck in the terrain, but she refuses to stop looking for her son. And I don't blame her. I would be the same way. There's been no trace of Morty, despite extensive searches. No phone, no clothing, nothing. Adam recently pled guilty in the earlier night.
And this guy does look creepy AF, right? Can you imagine hearing that 911 call? Exactly, Wolfpack. I didn't even see you. I'd be in jail for showing my ass at the police station every day until they did something. It sounds like that would work, but I have a feeling that there'd be repercussions. But I agree. That delay, he was trying to think of his alibi. Well, listen, he's the one that gave the story about him disappearing. He's the last person to see him alive. They were already having charges against him for stalking and using a knife. Good to see you, Sylvette. How you doing? Send me an email. Thank you. Thank you, Jack Stormo. Better late than never. You got that right. Let's continue.
A threat case, but because Morty is missing, prosecutor said that the victim could not testify.
The judge and agreed to this plea deal while family and friends of Morty Wortman sat behind him with posters of the 22-year-old missing since November. This is video from July in Point Pleasant showing Morty after calling police on Zaluk. The two men were involved romantically in some way. Morty told them that Zaluk threatened him with a knife because he turned down his sexual advances. Police say Zaluk then carved the word slut into Morty's car. In court, Wortman's father was allowed to speak today, saying he didn't like this deal.
I truly believe Adam knows where my son is at. He's been stalking them.
So Adam avoided jail. That's right. He didn't go to jail.
Nope.
He was given pretrial intervention and anger management classes.
Yep.
The charges involving weapons and criminal mischief were dropped. And despite everything, authorities say Adam has not been officially.
Oh, he's not in the woods, guy. He's not in the woods, Janet, at all. But I believe that the crime happened out there, and I believe that whatever did happen was transported then into Adam's vehicle. And I bet you anything, if they were to track his devices and find where he was that day, and where, yeah, they would find evidence for sure. I listen, and Maggie, I mean, that's not mean at all. I just don't understand why everybody doesn't receive the coverage that they deserve. Why are they putting millions of dollars into one case when another one has to sit there and raise funds in order to do a search? It makes no sense. This guy's a monster from what we know already. He's been convicted with some of the charges.
Officially named a suspect in Morty's disappearance. Friends say Morty would never disappear voluntarily. The family wants answers. They want justice. Where did Morty really go missing from? Did he really run into the woods? Why was there a delay in reporting him missing? And why would he report him missing and not even call Morty's parents to find out if he was really missing? How would he know for sure that Morty was really missing? How does somebody leave without a single trace? There is currently a $10,000 reward for.
Oh, guys, there's a trace. There's several traces. Law enforcement is doing nothing about it, however. I wish I knew who you could get in touch with and say, hey, listen. And I'm sure his mom and his family's all over it. Yeah, beast mode. And that's why you guys need to like and share and send this everywhere to your community so people know that Mekhai is missing. Know that the family's looking. If you're local, I'm sure they're open to having people help with the search parties. Otherwise, they have to pay for it. Yeah, right? One case is attached to a famous and well-known celebrity.
Information. Bunny and Jelly Roll added $8,000 to make it a $10,000 reward.
That's awesome.
For information leading to his whereabouts. If you have any information about Morty, you are asked to contact authorities immediately. The truth is out there. We just got to find it. Please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. And until my next video, until my next live, peace out.
All right, let's get this down. And we already saw that. Let's take a look at the search efforts so you guys can see what's happening. And they're making another push to find him. Now, they might have a better chance of finding him if they were to bring Adam in for questioning, okay?
We're still feeling hopeful. We don't want to give up hope.
It's been nearly 3 months since this Rutgers student disappeared, and now the family of Mortimer Mekhai Wortman is making another push to find him.
And that's why I wanted to show you, because it's 3 months after, and they're still constantly looking and doing and going. And all right, Lori says, I wonder if Adam planned the whole thing ahead of time and had help. You know what, Lori? I bet you he didn't. I bet you he did not have help at all. This seems like one of those things that he already had in his head. Hey, meet me up here. You know how that happens usually in relationships. We see every day with a man and a woman, and the man says, hey, let's go on a hike. And then he pushes her off. It was probably something like that. But I don't think he had help. All right. Senator couldn't make something happen for Kate. I think he probably did. He probably did.
The snow has been a hindrance for us because it's dangerous out there. The conditions are really terrible.
Wortman was last seen near Collier's Mills Wildlife Management Area off of High Bridge Road in Jackson Township on November 21st. Since then, the family, alongside police, have been searching in the woods, a task that became more difficult during recent frigid weather.
Yeah, once the snow melts and the weather breaks, we're right back out there. So our efforts haven't ceased. Our efforts haven't stopped. We're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep moving forward and trying to find Mekhai.
The family is taking the search to the next level.
For most families, this is a very difficult time emotionally, as you can imagine, but also they don't know what to do and how to how to do it.
Lisa Valentino is the New Jersey State Outreach Coordinator for Community United Effort, or Q, a national nonprofit that has worked with 15,000 families of missing people since 1994. She says they'll be going forward with one flyer, streamlining their tip communication, and are working on getting billboards and other ways to get Mekhai's name out there.
Coming up with ways to bring more awareness to, Morty being missing, which is another big thing, especially for young men. We find there's not as much press out there about a missing young man as opposed to a missing young woman.
Or a missing young white woman, white man, straight man. I hate to say it, but I mean, I guess you guys would have to agree that this is ridiculous. I mean, I'm looking at a New York Post article, and just not even a month ago, like 3 weeks ago, people are pissed, outraged as a man who stalked and threatened Morty walks free. All right. And this is just 3 weeks ago where they came out with this article. Why aren't they doing anything?
They say they're even ready to help police with trained search teams.
They've been great and very helpful in helping us kind of navigate because, there's no playbook for this.
Wortman's cousin, Omar Reyes, with a message for Mekhai.
I have faith that we will find you. Okay. Come home. If you're out there and if you see this, please come home. And if you can't come home, we will find you. And that's a promise.
For Pix 11 News, I'm Jim Vassell.
All right, guys. So I'm going to just quickly show you one more time missing Morty Wortman. Mortimer Mekhai. He's been missing since days before Thanksgiving of November 21st, 2025. Wow, Jax Stormo's been a member for 17 months. Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you, the OG crime crew. All right, bring him home. He's been missing, and we know who he was with last, which makes 0 sense. All right, so let me share this real quick. This New York Post article, so you can see that the family's outraged by this man, Adam Zulak, that's walking the streets. March 7th, this came out, and of course, the family of Rutgers students missing since November 2025 are outraged that the last person to see him walking free, despite pleading guilty to threatening the victim, Mortimer Morty Wortman, the 4th of Jackson, New Jersey, was last seen November 21st when surveillance cameras picked him up getting into a car with Adam, the car's owner, in the parking lot of Regional Day School, about 4 miles from Rutgers in Jackson, New Jersey. Now, guys, Morty's car was found in the same parking lot the next day. That's where he met him. But 3 months later, now we're almost 4 months later, this senior student from college, Rutgers, is still missing. All right. He's been missing for almost 4 months now. Authorities are offering a $10,000 reward, it says. I'm not sure where that comes in because Bunny and Jelly Roll, I don't know where the money comes from. But the importance of this case is for you to see this man. Hold on. Dang it. What did I do? I'm sorry. It didn't put it up. All right, that's okay. That's okay. The importance of this is right here. I wanted you guys to see this man's face. See this man's face. If you're from New Jersey or what have you. Okay. Morty was reported missing by this guy, Adam. They say in the article that Morty was only missing 18 hours after he was last seen, according to police. And Adam told investigators that the 22-year-old got into a fight. So the student got out of the car and wandered into the woods to walk home. All right. Wortman's mother, Joanna Reyes, the one we saw earlier, told the Post. Now on Monday, Adam pled guilty to third-degree terroristic threats against Morty during a July encounter in Point Pleasant, New Jersey, in which the case he chased Morty with a knife and he carved slut into his car. But Adam was handed a sweet deal because the pretrial intervention gave him no jail time, while weapons and criminal mischief charges were dropped. And do you want to know why? Because Morty wasn't there to testify. So Adam has not been charged in connection with Morty's death. All right. Now, Ocean prosecutors said they were hamstruck in the Zowlak case, ironically, because Wortman was not there to testify. We were all disappointed, Reyes told the Post. That's his mom. But this is not the end. We're just going to pray that Adam messes up, which he most likely will. My main focus is finding my son. All right. Morty's loved ones sat behind Adam in court with the posters of the missing man whose father bluntly addressed the judge. I believe Adam knows where my son is. All right. Mortimer Wortman III. I thought I said the fourth earlier, but who knows? He's been stalking him, and there's the missing persons reward. I don't think it's going to show up any more than that, but all right. See his face. That is the alleged perpetrator. I mean, we already are like, why did he not? Everyone's outraged, right? Right? So that's the bottom line here. In this case, this man needs to be charged. He needs to be brought in. He needs to be even interrogated. They should get a search warrant for his stuff, and I bet you we'll get 10 steps closer to finding Morty. All right. I appreciate you guys for being here. Hashtag bring Morty home. All right. I know, stupid judge. But what about the prosecutor? Why is the prosecutor not shooting for this? Everything in this New Jersey system has failed many of the cases that we see here and present at guilty of crime. All right. Yeah, judge needs to be removed. Thank you, Ali Kelly, for dropping a comment. Mab, are you going on? Are you going to be streaming tonight? If so, what are you streaming? Sanders says, I'm back. Bring Morty home. He needs an old Yeller treatment. You're welcome. Thank you, guys. Bring Morty home. All right, guys, we're all just learning about this case. Listen, somebody from the crime crew emailed me, and I was looking for a case to cover today. I was going to cover the Nancy Guthrie case and give you guys the updates, and then I ran across this missing young man, Morty, that needs more attention. All right, so that's why none of us even knew about this case, me until today. All right, and then on a final note, go over and head to that link that Synth has. Her Synth's daughter is up to win a $25,000 grant for her business that raises awareness for mosaic Down syndrome. Please vote for her. Thank you. And there's the link. Her daughter's name is Elizabeth Winter Rose Serber. Go vote. Ali Kelly needs that virtual Red Bull drink. There you go. With the magic straw. All done. That's to you, Ali Kelly. Or Ali. Thank you, guys. Not even just that. He went to pre-trial hearing and the main witness didn't show up. And he was last seen with him. He's the one that called 911 after going missing. This case is all messed up. And I feel so much sympathy for this family. So say a prayer. Spread this out. I'm going to go put a link on a lot of my pages, missing person cases. Absolutely. I'll do a follow-up, Lady for Justice. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to take this link and put it all over my Facebook groups. I hope you guys do the same as well. Thank you guys so much. I will see you back here tomorrow, 4 p.m. California time, 7 p.m. Eastern. All right. Thank you guys so much. Love you all and spread the word. All right. Have a good night.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty?